Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, Damen und Herren, from what was once an inarticulate mass of lifeless tissues, may I now present a cultured, sophisticated man about town.
It's time once again for another episode of Coming At Ya. Coming At Ya, a podcast about the world of mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, coming at ya, and heavy metal music, with a slice of comedy for good measure. Coming at ya.
That was a horrible fade.
It was a hard fade.
Wow, dude.
There was no fade.
First you hit the fucking wrong music, and then you hit the
You know what threw me off is because I added that next song, so I was one deeper than I should have been. And when you point back there, you know you can point at peripheral vision. He's making a face. He's got one job to do, and he's making a face.
He's got every right to make a face.
He's
because that was the whole entire reason.
That was totally,
why you had to have your fucking
big argument.
phone. That was your big argument.
We
I have
argued
my
for
music.
like 15 minutes before the show started.
I mean, you know, we're gonna settle this because we're gonna have a fucking whiteboard
We're gonna
here.
settle it. It's gonna be settled. We're back.
I hit you at like 8 points.
Now you had some notes that you had wanted to chat about.
I'm doing fight news.
I've had some notes as well. One of the things that's this week,
We are back, by the way, because I forgot to hit record
I
earlier.
had
Episode 168.
Monday night for no-gi class. Kevin Cole shows up. He goes, I haven't seen him in months because he's having a baby, but I forgot that the baby was born already.
He himself?
Yeah. His hips are so wide right now.
That's a first right there.
So
Dr.
he
Mindbender.
Yeah, Dr. Mindbender. He comes in and I go, yo, bro, good to see you. When's the baby due? He's like, about 6 months ago. But great small talk.
He's a very his sensibility is very British, is very dry.
He's very funny, dude.
He's very, but it's a dry humor because
Yeah.
I knew him before.
Oh, he's subtle.
Yeah,
He's subtly
very
funny.
subtle. The first time I met him, God, this is years ago. This is when I was dating my high school girlfriend.
What's his name?
Her name?
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up names. But we knew each other because
Is he working the cameras
my
over there? What's he
girlfriend.
doing?
Yeah, he's doing something. Relax.
All right. So you were on that camera?
I thought you had peripheral vision.
I did, but you didn't point to any particular camera. You pointed at Bullet.
His bro cap is getting in the way. Bro.
what's up, bro?
Anyway,
what's up, bro?
The first time I met him, I thought he was fucking with me the whole time.
No, it's just
And his
way.
brother is actually like a really famous skateboarder.
He's in all the Tony Hawk video games.
Yeah, his brother's like a really famous
Yeah,
skateboarder.
Chris Cole.
Yeah. So he comes from an athletic
We're
family.
one away from many famous people.
I remember the
We're
thing.
just not quite there.
The thing I remember about him too, he had he had a BC Rich guitar. He had like a Warlock guitar, and that's like a really like
Kevin?
metal guitar. Yeah,
I didn't even know Kevin played music.
yeah. And I remember being younger, you have like such concrete opinions that
Right.
as you get older, just it's bullshit.
But
like people who had those kind of guitars, I always dismissed them as being dickheads. Like you would see these kind of guitars and you'd be like, yeah,
What a
man.
jerk off.
Right? Like with your bro cap.
Right.
Like the Warlock is like the bro cap of
or
guitars.
your neck beard.
This is not a neck beard, my friend.
That's a neck beard.
No, it's not.
It's a neck beard.
You know what? It's not a neck beard.
It is. You bought a tool to shape that up.
Yeah.
And
It looks good.
did
Well,
you
why-
did you get the wrong size tool?
No, why would you say that?
Why would you make fun of my hat?
See, I made fun of a piece of apparel, and then you got to make fun of
It's
me.
part of a look, and your beard is part of a look.
You know what?
Yeah?
This guy's just a jerk off.
That beard's not part of a look.
You got a bad hairline.
You have a heavy body.
Oh, it burns.
I was listening to a show today.
Oh, wow. That's what you're going to hit me with? A heavy body?
And they were describing a guy with a shirt that was too tight, and they called it a medium.
A medium?
Yeah, because it was just not the right size.
Well, maybe it was like a smarge.
But going back to the small talk,
Heavy
you'd be
body.
surprised at how many people made comments to me this week. There was another
About-
guy, Ryan.
About the small talk?
Yeah, he said something to me about the weather and passing just at jiu-jitsu. He walked by, and he goes, how's that for small talk? Like you don't realize how many people actually listen to the show.
Oh, I do. Because when people were trying to figure out my masturbation kung fu style, I had a lot of people come up and try to crack the code.
Nobody's figured it out yet.
Nobody.
I don't think you've figured it out.
I haven't done it in a while.
You haven't broke your dick in a while.
No nerve damage to my pee-pee.
But
To my ding-ding.
it is nice when people come up and acknowledge the show. That's what I'm going to say.
It is.
You also commented that some people think I'm a narcissistic dickhead.
Oh, yeah. Because of the small talk. They're like, wow.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being a self-centered, egocentric asshole. I mean, I am.
But you're also the guy that wears a headset everywhere you go because you're afraid to interact with people.
I don't know if the word is afraid.
It's afraid. When you really boil it down, it's afraid.
Possibly.
Yeah. I started listening to a book this week, and I told you I think this would help you. It's the book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And when I bought the book...
You thought of me.
Now, when I bought the book, I thought it was about just not giving a fuck in general.
Okay.
Right? And I've been listening to it. It's like a 6-hour book. I'm probably about 5 hours deep into it. And it really turns out that the book itself is about being selective in what you give a fuck about.
Okay. I think I'm pretty selective.
Well, yeah, but you worry about the wrong shit sometimes.
I worry about everything.
One time Wilson was in town and all the guys from the other gym were going out somewhere and you were so concerned about everybody's thoughts about you.
No. I have anxiety. And this is the way anxiety
But you
works.
bring it on with some of your thoughts.
No,
Are you getting anxious?
You have a complete
getting
you have a
anxious right
complete
now?
misconception.
I feel like you're being anxious.
You don't bring it on. It's not a button that you hit. It just it does it itself.
I'm saying, but there's probably things that if you wasted less time thinking about them, you wouldn't get anxious
It's
about
not
them.
like you have a say in it. This is the way anxiety works.
It just happens.
This is anxiety. Hey, what could possibly go wrong? Anxiety. Glad you asked. And it just it's like it's like a fucking
Right.
stream.
So, but it's when you're going out somewhere and you think that these people are going to be here and you think they have a certain way of thinking about you, you get anxious because you don't think they're going to treat you a certain way when you get there.
I always assume that people don't like me.
Right.
Probably because I do fucked up shit and act like an asshole.
And get too drunk maybe sometimes.
No, I'm nice when I'm drunk usually.
Are you? I'm
Yeah.
talking about when you get overboard drunk.
That's only happened like 2 times in my life.
One was here.
And one was here.
But the book itself is about being selective in what you give a fuck about.
Yeah.
So, like an example, there's a little bit of a part in the story where there are people who have low self-esteem and they get on social media and they want to get a lot of likes.
Oh yeah, I know
Right?
this type of people.
So
I'm off social media.
So they post stuff, right? And they don't get the likes they wanted. So they're more depressed about how they feel. So they post more stuff to try to get more likes, and it's a vicious circle.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
And then it also talked about how kids are entitled. And
No, don't get me started on that.
kids these days haven't gone through a struggle to develop their personality. Like every kid gets an award, right?
Yeah.
Like they haven't like jiu-jitsu, and my kids do jiu-jitsu. You either you're winning or you're losing, and you don't take it personal. You develop that part of your character through that, right? With life, like so many parents these days, they want to think that their kids are good at everything, right? And not every kid is good at everything. Like Declan last year, he's like, hey, I don't want to do the choir. I said, I want you to be in the choir this year. He's like, I'm not a good singer. And I looked at him and I'm like, you know what, you're right. You're not a good singer. You don't have to do the choir.
You can look at no better example of seeing how coddled 5th place medal winning generation that we're dealing with than the reaction of to Donald Trump. Now, whether you like Trump or not, whether you voted for him or not, these people
I had
throwing
an issue today. I posted something about Meryl Streep being a hypocrite, and one of my friends went off on a tangent for like 4 or 5 posts.
Yeah.
And then people just started laying into her, and I'm like, all right, I don't think she's trying to turn this into a whole gigantic thing,
But-
she's directing it to me.
But what I mean is that they think that throwing temper tantrums changes anything.
Doesn't do shit.
It doesn't mean anything.
It
Nobody
doesn't do shit.
cares. Now that's
You
just
don't
one
like what
example.
happened? Next time the votes come around, do a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't even vote, and
they're complaining.
And I didn't vote either because I didn't really feel personally strongly. I couldn't vote for either one of them. But that's a whole other bag of worms. But what I mean is that it's the first time in their lives for a great many of these people that they've actually faced loss, and they had to really face it, and there was nothing that they could do
And
about
they're out
it.
of their minds over it.
They don't know what to do. They don't know how to fucking cope.
But there's a chapter in this book that talks about going through the struggle. Everybody wants to be a champion, but they want to go through the fight to get to the championship.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it's about. So what I'm saying is this book, which I thought was one thing,
Turned out to be another.
Not to give a shit about anything or give a fuck about anything, turns out that it's okay to give a fuck.
You got about certain things.
Be selective in what you give a fuck about. That way it doesn't ruin your life or be detrimental.
Yeah. I've
already shared the book with like 6 or 7 different people that don't have audible.com.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'm in the middle of my own book that I'm reading right now.
I've learned a few things from it so far.
That's all you can do from a book.
Yeah.
You can learn something.
And I'm not going to apply the whole book to my life because I'm kind of in that zone already where I decide what I give a fuck about and what I don't give a fuck about. But I found it interesting to listen to it and go through different things.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that you could apply that to anxiety per se, because that would imply that you have a degree of control over it. And I think for me with anxiety, and I don't know how other people are, so I can't speak for them, but for me, anxiety is like a radio station that's on in the background. And then when you introduce stress to it...
But you don't have a choice in what channel is playing.
You can't tune to one thing. And
it's multiple
like,
channels.
Oh, it drives you nuts. So I try to occupy myself, keep myself busy with things. And there's certain things that will work with that. Going to the gym will help with that.
So you're not getting any help at all right now?
Really? You're gonna go with that? Playing music helps, so there. You fucking...
How about video games?
I don't really play a lot of video games.
I've gotten slow on the video games. We have 2 PS4s, right? We have one upstairs, one downstairs.
That's pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty ridiculous, but when you realize that I have 4 kids and multiple kids are fighting over the PS4 at all times.
Yeah.
So we got 2, right? Now I'm not playing many games at all. Like my 2 sons were playing Grand Theft Auto for a couple hours the other day.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think that's a good game for them to be playing?
They know it's not real, and it's not stuff they would do in real life. So
your son,
I'm not the guy that's going to coddle his kids.
Your son did pull a popsicle shank out of me.
He did pull a shank on me.
Threatened to fucking kill me. So you might want to rethink that.
You also threatened him with a knife as well.
No,
yes,
that was a retaliatory
you threatened
threatening.
a 9-year-old child with a knife.
He said he was going to shank me in the neck, and I said, I'll pull my knife out.
And you pulled it out.
I showed him the knife.
You threatened a child.
Look, if he starts
with a knife,
if he starts killing squirrels and mice in the backyard, fucking.
You know what was really good today?
Have the fucking talk with him.
Before jiu-jitsu, Declan was just talking a ton of shit to Aiden. And I'm like, Declan, stop talking shit to your brother. He's gonna beat the piss out of you. He's like, he won't beat the hell out of me. So at when it came time to roll at class, I said, Declan, go with Aiden. Aiden goes like this to me. He goes, can I go full on? He's like, yeah. I said, yeah. Tapped him like 5 or 6 times.
Every little brother needs to get his ass kicked.
But with video games, I was over at my brother's house the other day. Actually, 2 things this week with video games. I signed up for PS Now on PlayStation, where you can stream 450 different games.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
That sounds cool.
Right? We were playing the wingsuit game for a while. There's a ton of PS3 games that you can play. We were playing Virtual Fighter 4. All kinds of shit, like in all different genres. There's just a ton of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we were playing a bunch of different games, but I went over to my brother's house, and he's got, what's the computer called?
Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi. It's like a computer you put together yourself, right? But on that computer, he's able to download every program from video games from the 80s and 90s, like arcade games.
Oh, I've seen those before, yeah.
So
those are cool. The emulators?
We were playing Asteroids. Which I forgot how much I love Asteroids.
Remember Pitfall?
It's so fucking basic. He was playing Pitfall.
All the old games are so fun to play.
We played Joust.
Joust was a good one.
Joust was one of my fucking favorites of all time. Then we played Track and Field.
Okay.
Which the guy talking in that is just, God, it brings back memories.
Yeah, it's like he swallowed the microphone.
Tecmo Bowl?
Tecmo Bowl. I don't think
I have it.
Is Tecmo Bowl on there?
It is.
That was one of my favorite. I actually like the Xenophobia. Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
Can't find a good copy of it.
Can't find a good copy, but think of like the struggle we went through as kids to play video games.
Yeah.
We had I remember my first computer was a Commodore 64. Actually, it was a Commodore.
You had Atari
32.
You had ColecoVision.
Yeah, like a fucking Coleco, or what was
With
the
the
handheld
paddle?
one with the football? You just had like a line, and you're just moving the line up and down, going across.
Pong.
What is it?
Pong.
Pong. You had the tank game.
Yeah, the tank game was the
You had
shit.
Yar's Revenge. where you're just basically this bug, and it's all one-button games with a joystick.
Remember Zork, the text game?
I used to like Zork, too.
Zork was the fucking shit.
But I remember having the Commodore 64, and like they had you put the cassette in, and you're typing responses. Like it's like a book that you can choose your different things.
Yeah.
But the kids these days, they don't know how fucking hard it was. Like we look back, and I remember playing on Atari and thinking graphics were fucking awesome. And then ColecoVision came out and playing like Othello and stuff with the Youngs all the time. We thought that was the fucking greatest thing. And then Sega Genesis came out. And we were playing football and hockey on it, and thought that was the fucking greatest thing. And we were at his house last week, and we put in some. He's got a PS2 emulator on your PlayStation 4,
nice,
or PlayStation 3. And we're looking at the graphics on some of these games. They're fucking awful, just from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And we thought that was the best game ever.
We thought it was the best fucking game in the world. We were playing SOCOM. And we were doing the emulator over at his house, and I look at my son, and his son's in the room, and I think,
they're just clowning on it.
And no, I think they were actually interested. But I'm like, you guys don't know how hard it was as a kid to play video games. Like we used to play track and field. I had to go to the arcade, stand in line, put my quarters on there where the buttons are, and wait for that douchebag who was really good at the game to get off.
Yep.
Or Spy Hunter.
Spy Hunter was a fun game.
The one I used to love was Dragon's Lair.
I have that on my iPhone.
I'm trying to get that in Space Ace.
I have that on my iPhone.
Space Ace?
I have both of them. Space Ace.
Was the same game, but with
Don Bluth.
Space.
That was Don Bluth
yeah.
animation. Don Bluth did Rats of Nim or Secret of Nim.
Okay.
And he did Land Before Time, and he did An American Tale.
But think of all
That was
the
Don
video
Bluth
games
animation.
that we had as a kid.
Yeah.
And what were your favorites?
My favorite games, I liked Q*bert a lot. That was a fun one.
Wasn't Q*bert in
ColecoVision.
No, the the movie that came out like Pixel?
Yeah.
Atari.
Pitfall.
Or Pitfall was always
Pitfall
good.
was a good one. Pac-Man
Pac-Man was good.
was a good one.
Like-
Tron.
Tron was awesome.
You know
Dude,
what
I love the one with...
I was so excited to get that game.
The light cycles
But
were the
if
shit.
you-
Dude, that was my favorite. I would still play the light cycles all
If
the
you
time.
remember how the game was, it had a spinning knob and that had a button. So when you
Yes.
try to translate that into it doesn't work. So I was so disappointed.
I didn't.
Man.
I always liked the one where you're spinning the knob and the thing's just going ba 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 ba.
Gravatar.
Gravatar.
Yeah.
But
I've been laying low on all video games and all that shit. I've been just playing
video gaming
a ton
was
of music.
so different when we were a kid. Like I remember like my mom dropping me and my brother off at the mall, and we would go to the arcade, and you made sure you had like $10 or $15 worth of quarters to play.
Dude, I'm pretty lame. I'm either hanging out with my son or I'm playing music.
I'm not talking about now. We're talking about memories from when you were a
Yeah,
kid.
but you're playing them now.
Yeah, I'm reliving it,
Yeah.
playing the game.
I don't have time to relive it.
But I want to know what your favorites were when you were a kid and your experiences.
I told you that.
Did you never go to a spaceport?
Yeah, I would go to the spaceport.
What do you remember about what mall would you go to as a kid?
Oxford Valley.
You remember the big walk around, like the
Yep.
circle going in, all the old people sitting at the bottom?
But I was a little kid, so I got fucked with a lot. So I didn't really go out.
So you have sad memories of the mall?
No one say sad memories. I just would watch myself because I get fucked with.
But do you remember going to Spaceport?
I do remember.
What was the store next to Spaceport?
I don't remember.
Can I say? Was it Olga's Kitchen?
Olga's Kitchen was on one side where you could get really good gyros. What was on the other side? Music store.
I would go.
Sam Goody.
I would go to Allied Hobbies because they have all the D&D shit.
Dude, I fucking loved Allied Hobbies.
They get all the D&D shit.
I used to
there.
love. What was the Choo Choo Train place where they had the Bavarian pretzels?
I know you.
It was called
And they had
Choo Choo.
they had McDonald's on the.
It was called Choo Choo.
It was Choo Choo.
That mall's completely dead now, though.
And they had McDonald's on the second floor up there.
Yeah.
Like it was before food courts,
I don't.
where food would be all over the mall.
I stay the fuck out of that mall now. I stay the fuck out of pretty much any mall.
Yeah, but we're talking about back in the day, my man. Back in the day,
Even back then, I would avoid those places. It's amazing how little my life has changed. It's just instead of having a bedroom,
right?
I have a place. It's just like a big bedroom.
Just a big bedroom.
Yeah, pretty much. And I read my books or my comics, and I play my bass and my other guitars and stuff, and I play music, and I'm learning.
Do you want to make it realistic and just have somebody show up at the house to pick on you?
Yeah, but I've got guns and knives. That wouldn't happen really nowadays.
Yeah, I know. You pulled a knife on a 9-year-old earlier.
That was retaliatory to fucking prevent him from stabbing me in the neck.
He actually made a shank.
That's worrisome.
That's pretty awesome. It's funny because I guess like probably a month ago, we were out in the driveway, and I was teaching my kids how to escape from a trunk by locking each one in there individually. They wanted to know, right? You got the little lever you pull out, which is a good thing to know if you're a kid and you get kidnapped, like how to get out of the trunk.
All right, I'll give you that.
Right?
I'll give you points for that.
But I'm in the middle of teaching them how to do that, and I'm always having these kind of conversations with the kids. My neighbor's outside smoking a cigarette, and I just see him just standing there like,
what the fuck is this guy doing?
I'm like, Delaney, get in the trunk. Declan, get in the trunk. Aiden, get in the trunk. And then Aiden got in the trunk, and we all sat on top of it, so he couldn't get out.
That's good.
Yeah, and he sat in there for probably a good 10 minutes.
Oh, did he cry?
No, he just gave up, and I opened the door, and he's just sitting there. He's like,
oh, all
"You're
pissed
gonna let me
off.
out." Yeah, he wasn't upset about it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of fucking good, I guess.
I had something else I wanted to chit-chat with you about as well.
Was it small talk? Because I don't do small talk.
I don't small talk at all.
I don't do small talk at all.
P.S. No, I went to the cryogenic chamber today. That was cool.
Again, with the pun.
And they were advertising.
With the pun.
How was it a pun?
I'll let you think about that for a couple minutes there, bro.
Cryogenic chamber?
And it was...
Fun?
That's not what you said.
What did I say? It was cold? What did I say?
Yeah, I went to the cryogenic chamber. It was really cool. And with the pun, and you're like, I don't get it.
I didn't get it till you pointed it out.
I didn't even think
For
about
real?
it. Yeah.
Fucking
That
knuckleheads.
shit was hot, though.
Shit kickers.
So you show up to this place. They had like a Groupon, and one of the guys I trained with, Jeremy, he's like, I know your body hurts everywhere. I'm going down to do it. You want to try it? I'm like, yeah, cool.
How much was it?
It's normally like a 99 or 100 some bucks.
Fuck
the,
that.
The Groupon, $25.
Fuck that.
25 bucks?
One time?
One time.
Fuck that.
3 minutes. So you get there, you sign a waiver, and like it asks you if you have...
Sign a waiver for what?
In case you freeze to death, I guess.
Fuck that.
So I'm filling out the form, right? It's asking me if I have any heart disease, any health issues,
Fuck
blah, blah,
that.
blah, 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 blah.
Fuck that noise.
And then I get to the section of the thing where it says, do you have any current injuries? Do you have arthritis? Do you have lower back problems? Do you have any knee problems? And I checked off almost everything on the list.
Yep.
Right? So they send you into the locker room.
They'll tell you that shit'll fix all of it, and it's bullshit.
They send you into the locker room. Have you been in there?
No, but
So you don't know what you're talking about.
I've done some research.
You haven't done any
The
research.
only thing it does is help with inflammation.
So
That's it.
I go in there, right? They give you a sweet pair of Crocs to wear, some orange socks, and a robe, right? You walk in, you get inside the chamber, they shut the door, right? And they raise up the height till it's just right at neck level.
Yeah.
And they hand you a pair of gloves to put on, and you take off your robe. So you're standing there with
Cock and balls are out.
Now you have underwear on, but your underwear is not protecting you at all. It's mainly for visual.
How far did the balls shrink up into the body?
They were pretty much tucked all the way up inside at one point.
They were like, "Fuck this."
So Jeremy went first, and I'm just watching him. Like I was kind of a little bit nervous because I'm like, how cold does it really get? So it gets 136 degrees below zero.
Not interested.
You're not touching any of the walls, and they ask you make sure you're not sweaty before you go in because everything will just freeze like solid, right?
You're gonna ask an anxious person not to fucking sweat.
Yeah. So
What the fuck?
So he goes in, and I'm watching him. He's just shaking the whole time. Right?
What?
And we're talking. I'm like, is it cold? He's like, fuck cold. Right? I'm like, all right, this is gonna suck.
And you're paying people.
Yeah.
I work outside all day. I don't need to fucking freeze in some fucking fancy contraption.
So I get in there, right? I take off my robe. I throw my underwear over the thing, right?
Of course you did.
And it starts getting cold, right? First 30 seconds is kind of bad because that's when they get down to the temperature.
Yeah.
And then you stand there for 2 minutes, and then the last 30 seconds when you know they're like 30 seconds. When you know there's like 30 seconds left, it's just everything starts to get tight. So I got out, I got changed, had a drink, stood there for like 5 minutes. Then I said, "Hey, can I use your restroom?" And I went to the restroom, and I felt my legs while I was in there. They were still frozen. That's how cold this shit was. But I felt fantastic when I came out.
It's all bullshit.
I felt fantastic.
Hey, if you felt great, that's all that matters.
I think you should try it.
No.
They also were advertising because the Hollycon float places like right next door. We were talking about doing that.
I'll do that. I mean, they're going to need a lot of salt, though.
And a lot of water. We're going to need a bigger tank.
This fucking guy.
But I actually felt good when I came out of it.
At least I'm. I mean, look. I mean, if I'll do the floating thing, at least I'm open to that. But
Why wouldn't you try the other thing?
because I've got steel in my foot,
That's an expensive
It's
3
not going to
minutes.
freeze the steel in your foot.
don't care. I won't do it.
You have socks and shoes on.
I won't do it. Well, oh, those little fucking Crocs are going to protect me from negative 200.
What's it? It's just touching your skin. It's not freezing below the skin level.
Fuck that
So you're not going to try it.
shit.
What if I paid for it? Oh, look at that. It's a totally different
Still
response.
wouldn't do it.
You would do it.
No, I wouldn't.
If I said, hey, Bullet, what are you doing Saturday? I'm going to go do the freeze thing. Do you want to go?
Not
You'll go.
not going to go.
I know you'll go.
Not going to go.
And how I know you'll go? Because you'll be like, can you pick me up? And I'll be like, yes. And then you'll definitely go.
Now you're piquing my interest.
Because your anxiety will take over and you're like, I'm not going to go because I'm not driving down the city. Right?
Oh, this is in the city?
Yeah. There's one in Conshohocken as well. But I found it very interesting, and I
There's
thought
no way I,
thought
would
it was
walk in there by myself.
I think that's the way my friend Jeremy thought. And when we came out, we went to lunch after, and I'm like, dude, that was cool.
I told you what happened at the music store when they had a new guy there.
You told me, but
No.
Let
This-
us know.
No. This is a different thing.
Oh.
I walked into the music store and there was a new guy there, and I stopped and I said, like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm blah blah." I was like, "No."
What's his name? Baba?
He just starts telling me his name, like, blah 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 blah. I'm like,
Todd Toothy?
I'm like, no.
Todd Toothy?
And I walk away and I find the manager, and then he rings me up because I'm not dealing with new people.
Why don't you deal with a new person?
I just don't.
Were you ever new at anything?
No.
You just started out experienced on everything?
No, it's just I just don't want to fucking have to deal with some new person.
When you started your current job, right?
Yep.
Is it kind of technical?
Yep.
Was there ever a time when you were beginning,
Yes.
if somebody would have said, hey, I'm not dealing with you because you're a new guy,
They did all the time.
did it hurt?
Everything hurts my feelings.
So if you thought about what to give a fuck about, like the book I was talking about, it wouldn't bother you.
It doesn't bother me anymore.
So, but you're not dealing with a new guy for what reason?
Because then
What if, this is in Sam Ash?
yeah,
What if the guy came from Guitar Center and you don't know that?
we had one of them too, and I just don't like dealing with new people.
Is it because you don't feel like they're experienced, they don't understand what they're talking about, or you just don't feel like dealing with a new person? Like you don't have a room for a new person in your life?
all the above?
But
But
I think it's the latter.
but I'm not going to Sam Ash anymore, so I don't have to worry about it.
But I think it's the latter. Like if you go to the supermarket, right? Do you always try to find the same person that waits on you every time?
don't you?
No, I could care less.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta have the same guy who cuts the fucking deli meat the same way, and like and he knows I want a pound of turkey breast. He doesn't even ask anymore, and
Does he consider you a friend?
no, but I find
Your meat
the
man.
same register lady. I have like 2 or 3 that I deal with exclusively only
And that is because you don't want to interact with new people.
because it's safe. I know these people. They don't have any small talk, yeah? And
Or do they do? They do have small talk because you have a bit of knowledge about
rapport.
each other.
A rapport, if you will.
If you will.
maybe I just find it a more pleasant experience if I have my register person.
Okay, so do you know what days your register person works?
I know.
Has there ever been a time where you had a full cart of stuff
Uh-huh.
and you got up there and there's like 10 lanes open and you're carting yourself back and forth and you see that there's not the person that you're waiting for? Do you put everything back or you just run out of the store?
Well, that happened a lot. That's why I started doing the groceries for
Really?
that's why I do that's one of the reasons why I do the groceries on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a mess. You have no idea the fucking fractured mess
I put
that this brain is.
You put too much thought into it.
Oh, dude, no, it's not thought. It's just, it feels like a house is coming down on me. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
It's too much thought.
Oh, I just don't like it.
Like so you go to Sam Ash and there's a new guy and you're just not going to talk to him. What if he's like the coolest dude in the world and just wants to help you?
There's a third party has to do the introduction. I can't just be like, hey, what's going on? I'll just be like,
I think if you went out of your way just to say hi to people,
no,
it would change everything.
no.
But conversely, I go out of my way to say hi to people. If I make eye contact with somebody, I say hi. 99% of the time, people do not say hi back.
I need conditional interactions with 99% of the people that I deal with. Conditional meaning it's some kind of intermediary. I'm drinking a lot.
Looks
so
like a baby. That's
What?
weird.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Look at it.
But I like dealing it like through a telephone or a text message or a podcast or whatnot. I do not like,
How do we get around that? Todd, do you have that kind of issue? Like Todd, he's the same as me. Like no issue interacting with anybody.
None.
Like if,
There's only two times. There's only two times. If I'm with my son, I have no anxiety about anything.
What if we get you like a fake baby to wear as a strap on all the time?
I feel like having the words baby and strap on in a sentence at all is just bad.
You jerk off in front of your kid.
No, I really don't. That's kind of fucked up.
We're going back 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's really fucked up. Yeah, when I'm with my kid, I feel really, really relaxed, and I don't have hardly any of that bullshit.
What if somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, your kid's so cute"?
It depends on how they look.
No, it's just some random stranger, old lady, right? You don't
I don't
engage
feel-
in the conversation. Like, "Hey, thanks."
Yeah, but it's very forced and it's very rehearsed, and it doesn't mean anything.
Like, on your end.
Correct. It's very superficial.
Hey, baby, your baby's cute. Hey, baby, your bullet's cute.
Yeah, but I know you. You know what I mean?
Right, but what would you say? Like, what do you say?
Oh, thanks. But I'm very.
What
protective
happened to
of
you
my
as
kid.
a Ute that you can't interact with people?
I don't know. That's just that's how I am.
Do you feel like there was something?
And then the other time,
Were you always like this?
Does his twin brother have these?
I don't think his twin brother does.
no, he's normal.
He like
He has like a house. He's like a normal job.
He's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the twins.
I'm the DeVito.
You're definitely the DeVito.
I'm definitely the weirdo of the family, for sure. But also, when I am playing music, writing music, recording music, or occasionally, if I'm around friends who are doing music, I feel really at ease, really comfortable. I did a rare public appearance, probably one of the few rare public appearances I've made in, I'm going to say easily 3 months, to go see a friend's band play in New Hope.
How about when you were a teen, like when you had to go get a job?
Well,
Was it like complete anxiety, like trying to go in somewhere to get a part-time job?
But I think anxiety and teenage years go hand in hand.
I don't think so.
Or angst, it kind of
I
manifests
don't remember
differently.
being anxious as a teen.
Or angsty, kind of just like,
I do remember my dad driving me to the mall and saying, "Go inside, get a job." And he sat out in his car, and I had to come out with a bunch of applications. Did you do that to you too?
I always had a job.
Something similar?
No.
No.
I always had a
My
job.
dad likes him better anyway.
I could see why.
It's not hard.
I could see why.
There's 3 of us. I'm on the end of the list,
Well,
which is fine.
and you know what? This explains everything.
Really?
It explains why you have to be so domineering.
I think it's because I've been that way my entire life. Right out of the womb.
Yeah, let's psychoanalyze you. Enough about me. Stop
Like,
psychoanalyzing me.
when I was born, I came out that way. Domineering. I was like, hello, world.
You had the same hairline, too.
Yeah, I had the exact same hairline. My hairline doesn't upset me, though,
It does.
because I have an incredibly shaped head.
Let's see it. Take the bro cap off.
There it is.
It's hold on.
I got headphones on. It's a whole thing. People have seen me without my hat on.
Take the cap off.
People have seen me without my hat on. You, on the other hand, if you were to lose your hair,
My luxurious hair.
your luxurious hair,
And it is luxurious.
you would not look the same. Or remotely close. You'd be subhuman.
Wow. Holy shit.
But I don't care about my hairline. I never have.
That's all I got, though.
It doesn't upset me.
Okay. You're unhappy.
All right, you got me there.
Everybody at my house likes me. And I live alone.
My kids love me.
And I live alone.
My kids love me. I love hanging out with my kids.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
They're pretty
one.
awesome. You know what we should do?
Talk about some fight news. Let's get
some
into
music. Let me see if I hit the right music this time.
it. Oh my god.
You shut up. Did Did you hear? Did I text you the
I saw it. It made me sick.
my one of my
Made me physically sick.
I have a bunch of friends that are customers, and I got a voicemail, and there's like 10 of them in the office singing it. They're like, "Listen to this," and they all just fucking made fun of me.
It's disgusting.
It's designed to be entertaining, though.
Yeah, but it was disgusting.
What was disgusting about it?
The song, the way you guys sang it,
We're brothers.
everything.
You don't have that relationship with your twin brother?
If I was going to do anything musical with either of my brothers, it would be good.
No, I'm just saying in general. Like you don't goof around with your brother.
That's the funny thing. If it was good, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have posted it.
Is that kind of like how you don't talk into the microphone? It's funny like that, like because if you talked into the microphone, it wouldn't be funny.
But you don't.
Very similar.
Like that's the thing. Like he and I, we're cut from the same mold. Like we're not afraid to embarrass ourselves
You
to
mean
make people laugh.
Not musical.
No, it has nothing to do with the whole video. Had nothing to do with being musical. It was just about goofing off.
Didn't you try to play guitar at one time?
I bought a bass guitar and I realized that none of my
He slapped
fingers
the
worked
bass.
the way they should.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I want to fucking stab you in the throat when you say that.
But-
when anybody says that. But
but-
you bought a bass?
Yeah, years ago.
What kind?
I don't know. It was like a cheap one. It was on like eBay. I got it for like $150.
Why didn't you continue with it?
I didn't even get started.
Why?
I realized I couldn't grip it with my hand going the one way. Like literally, I couldn't wrap my fingers around it because my fingers are just jacked.
Bass guitar is the noble instrument.
But what I'm asking you,
It's the noble instrument.
you're afraid. You're so afraid to embarrass yourself
No, I'm not actually.
that you wouldn't put out a funny video just to think it was funny.
I'm not on social media anymore. So
But when you are on social media, right? How about slow motion karate?
that's not embarrassing. That's epic.
Exactly. Him and I singing together awfully
First of all,
is awesome. When I die,
me soaring through the air like a majestic eagle.
and you haven't done that forever.
It's because it hasn't snowed at work.
Gravity's hitting you a little hard.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, should I take the Fight News logo down?
Let's talk about fight news.
Let's talk
Sorry.
about fighting this.
Did you see the video of Tyrone Woodley and Wonder Boy today
No.
arguing on Fox Sports,
Oh, really?
sitting at the same table, right?
Did it get
And
heated?
It got very heated. Not
Okay.
not like in each other's face, kind of heated, but verbally, and not like hey, I'm gonna kick your ass kind of thing. It was like an educated conversation, right? So they both were very intelligent in what they were saying.
Okay.
Woodley was saying, "Hey, I beat you. I did more damage."
He did. Woodley
Uh,
won that fight.
Wonder Boy's saying, I thought I won 2, 4, and 5, whatever ones he said. I don't remember.
I had Woodley 3 rounds.
Yeah,
to
I'm
2.
not debating that part. I'm just saying,
But you could make an argument for either one.
they were both arguing about what was going on and why they were fighting again.
Okay.
Then it turned to a point where Woodley said he's the most disrespected champion ever.
He is.
And he started to state why.
Because he's going to say race.
He said race.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Then he also stated that Demetrius Johnson, who's one of the greatest fighters in the world, pound for pound, African-American guy, nobody likes him because they're racist.
No,
Exactly.
It's because
It's nothing about
it's
race.
because he's 125 pounds.
Woodley's a dick.
Well, he's going to go towards.
I used to like him until he became champion.
People don't like Tyron.
I was rooting for him, and he was a dick.
People don't like Tyron Woodley. The consensus, the people that I talk to, because he became champion and then he started demanding these big money fights like he's a name. And let's be honest, in 2017,
You got to talk a little shit.
no, in 2017, being a UFC champion is not the big deal that it used to be.
No, it's more about...
Well, let's put it this way. How many champions last year lost? How many times did a UFC title change hand last year?
quite
in
a few.
2016?
How many?
The only champion.
How many?
The only champion.
You just said how many. It
If
means
you'd
you have
let
an
me
answer in your
finish,
head.
bro. Cap.
Yo, neckbeard.
You had Daniel Cormier, Conor McGregor,
Okay.
and Amanda Nunes, and Joanna.
How about Jose Aldo?
Jose Aldo lost.
You said how many times the belt changed hands,
Jose
There's
Aldo.
your question.
Jose Aldo lost his belt though. He never.
which means a belt changed hands.
Conor McGregor had that belt the whole time.
How did Conor get the belt?
He beat Jose Aldo in 2015.
Well, it wasn't 2015.
Yes, it was.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's the whole entire fucking argument that he never defended the belt.
Huh.
Eddie
Yeah, I'm going to give this one to you.
Eddie Alvarez.
I'm going to concede
yeah.
this one time.
But you had a lot
This is
of
a one-time
You had a lot
exception.
of champions lose their belt in 2016, and it's not as impressive as it used to be. And I'll do you one better. The UFC in
Do you think it's because the fighters are getting better?
there's just
and there's not.
more cards, more times these guys are fighting.
But the level of people is so high that there's more opportunity to change.
That's part of it. I think the UFC right now, or let's just say in the past year, the UFC is the biggest argument why you, as a promoter, want to have worked fights, because they blow through these stars so big. That conglomerate that bought the UFC for $4 billion, they bought the UFC and they had two big, huge mainstream stars. They had Ronda Rousey and they had Conor McGregor.
Right.
Now they have one, because
Conor McGregor.
Ronda Rousey is done.
I don't see anybody else as like a draw.
But do you know what I mean when I say the argument for having worked fights?
No.
Well,
Because I'm going to watch either way.
the UFC right now, as it is right now for like the past 10 years,
Right.
the UFC is basically the most successful pro wrestling promotion in the world right now. They do everything that pro wrestling used to do back in the 60s and 70s and part of the 80s, where this guy has a problem with this guy. Let's sell the story.
They
They
know
talk
it
a little
sells.
bit of shit. Hold on. And then they meet and they're going to kick the shit out of each other.
It hasn't worked like that in boxing forever?
The only difference,
Has it worked like that in boxing?
there's other things in boxing,
Just
but
yes or no.
to a degree.
Okay. Continue.
They're selling the story that the problem
Is he
between
still working
these,
the camera? Or it
between
looks like
these
he's taking
two.
a nap.
The
this
difference in pro wrestling
Let's go
is
that one.
that you have control over the outcome, to where you can build a star and build the star more and build the
Mm-hmm.
star into this huge money making thing, where in the UFC you attempt to build this star.
Is it because there's too many people on the roster?
I don't know. I really don't know. But think of the failed projects the UFC has had though in a while. Sage Northcutt was beginning to be built as a star, fell apart.
He wasn't ready.
Cain Velasquez.
Brown Pride?
The entire, I dare say, Latin America, Mexican expansion that the UFC has tried to get their footprint in has largely rested before on the shoulders of Cain Velasquez, and it fell apart. Now,
With a quickness.
because of injuries and whatnot and things of that nature, Yair Rodriguez, we'll talk about him later, is now their new hope. Now they're going to start building him up.
He's the Luke Skywalker?
For that footprint.
Thank you.
I don't think the UFC will ever overtake boxing in Mexico. Ever.
How big is
Boxing,
boxing in Mexico?
it's like Pepsi Coke over there, dude. It's huge.
Is it?
It's like Pepsi Coke.
Those are two
I'm not
different
gonna.
things, by the way.
I'm not gonna fucking.
Those are two different things you just said.
I'm not gonna recognize anything he says if he doesn't say it into the microphone.
I don't know why
Coke?
he can't figure it out. He's got it like he could get that closer to him, right?
Because you don't want me on all the time.
It's okay.
We don't care if you comment. It's more awkward when we see you do this.
Hey guys,
But he does this. Ready? He goes like. He said Pepsi Cola. Like he gets
Again,
there
though-
and he looks down his nose
Again-
to the mic to make sure he's right in front of it.
Again, he is a rookie.
He's a total rookie.
He's a total rookie. We'll get you there.
Yeah. Someday he'll be allowed to the big table.
The thing that people have to understand that for Mexico and North America,
Is Mexico big on boxing?
yes.
Yes.
What's bigger, wrestling or boxing?
Well, they train in the same gyms. I would say
They do not train in the same gyms. That's bullshit.
They only have one gym.
No,
They have one gym?
They train in the same gyms.
No, they don't train in the same gyms.
Sure, they do.
No, they don't.
I would
Who
say
trains in the same gyms?
wrestlers and
I
boxers.
want names.
Wrestlers get it from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Who gets it
Anyway.
6 a.m. to 10 p.m.?
I would say culturally, I think both sports are highly ingrained into the cultural identity of Mexico.
Lucha Libre you're talking about?
Yeah.
And boxing?
And boxing. The thing that
How much money's in boxing in Mexico?
quite a bit.
More than the U.S.? Can't be.
I would say that
Can't even be
I would
close.
say the boxers are bigger mainstream stars in Mexico than they are here.
Name 6 big mainstream boxers.
Well, the biggest right now in Mexico would be Canelo Alvarez.
Give me 5 more.
I I don't live in Mexico, so I couldn't fucking tell you. I'm
Just said they're bigger there than they are here.
No. I didn't say. I would say the boxers in Mexico that are big stars,
Right.
are bigger stars in Mexico than boxers are here. They're treated more mainstream. And the cultural identity of boxing and Mexican wrestling is really heavily ingrained there. The thing about boxing in North America and Mexico is boxing is a sport of the poor. It has always been a sport of the poor.
Is that because no one will pay them to kick?
Well,
Teach them how to
you
kick?
think of you think of boxing. Who were the big boxers?
Is soccer not
If-
big in Mexico?
If you think of traditionally in North America, who were the very big successful boxers? It was because there was a flood of immigrants coming in. First, you had Jewish heavyweight champions, and then you had the Irish coming in who were treated like
Who was
shit,
the
and
Jewish
they were
heavyweight
good.
champion?
Oh God, Max, what the fuck's his name? I forget his fucking name. But you had a lot of good Jewish boxers in New York area and throughout the U.S. in history. But you had your influx of Irish, and then
Is there a lot of boxing that you watch anymore?
I watch a lot of boxing. The DeGale fight was unbelievable. The Jack DeGale fight was awesome. It started
Is
off
Jack an Irish guy?
no. They fought to a majority draw, but it was a beautiful fight. Anyway, if you look throughout the history of boxing, it's been dominated by a sport of the poor and the immigrants. And that's how it always is. MMA is a sport in America, in North America and Mexico. MMA,
It costs a lot of money.
it's a sport of the privileged. It's usually college-educated athletes. It's people that can afford to go to these expensive gyms. Now, I know in Brazil it's a little different, but Mexico, boxing will never be replaced with MMA. Never. Ever. Ever. I'm not saying that there's no place for MMA in
Which
Mexico.
one's bigger in Mexico, wrestling or boxing?
Well, I would say I don't know. I would say they're equal. They're different.
Now,
They're different animals. I could tell you the longest running pro wrestling promotion in the world is in Mexico. It's the CMLL.
what's the CMLL?
I can't fucking remember.
How can it be that fucking famous if you don't know what the CMLL stands for?
I didn't say it was famous. I said it was the longest running.
Oh, okay. Speaking of wrestling, last week you mentioned a 6 out of 5 star match. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Talked about how fucking phenomenal it was. It was Yamasaki Suzuki
It was.
versus Toyota Yamaha.
Why you got to be a disrespectful fuck?
But you told us the names, and I couldn't remember the names.
It was Kazuchika Okada
versus Johnny Omega.
versus Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. So my brother and I, as soon as you left, we went upstairs.
You fired it up. I know what you did.
I'm gonna tell other people
You fired up the
wrong match.
You fired up the
and
wrong
we
match.
watched the wrong match for about.
You watched Tetsuya Naito,
Yes, we watched that for
versus-
about 40 minutes.
and it was from the G1 Climax.
There was a climax for sure. We watched the match.
I bet you no UFC fighter could do the G1.
We talked about how shitty it was.
I'll say it right there. That was a great match. It
Not-
started
but
off
it wasn't
slow.
up to the level that
It
you were
built up.
talking about.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that.
That
It wa-
particular match.
It wasn't.
Right? So Johnny Omega, Suzuki Yamaha.
Then why do you got to be like that?
I can't remember the names. They're difficult. So we watched the wrong match, right?
This guy's got Portuguese tattooed on his chest like a mark, and he's gonna fucking make fun of fucking. He's gonna make fun of the fucking Japanese.
You don't have any
wrestlers.
words on your body anywhere?
Not in a foreign language, fuckface.
What language do you have?
English.
What does it say?
Don't worry about what
What
it
does it
says.
say?
It says "fuck your face."
What does it say?
Hey, don't worry about
Show
it.
it to me.
No,
Where is it?
don't worry.
What are you hiding?
Huh?
What are you hiding?
It's on my butt.
Let's see it.
It says your name.
It says mom, just an M on each cheek. So when you bend over,
That's grody.
it is.
That's grody.
So we watched the wrong match for like 45 minutes, right?
That was a great match.
And finally, you texted us, and like when you got home, like, "Hey, make sure you watch the match." And then we put it on, but we figured we already watched 45 minutes.
So you watched the highlights.
We watched the highlights.
And what'd you think?
I wasn't that impressed.
You're an idiot.
It didn't tell the story like you said it was telling the story.
You're an idiot.
And here's why.
You're an idiot.
Here's why.
Because you didn't watch the match.
Because we didn't watch the match. We watched the highlights.
Yeah, that's great.
There was definitely some cool techniques, right? But not that exciting. Would you say?
Because you didn't watch
Watch,
the match.
Watch. He's going to lean in the mic, square up his nose. Go ahead.
I thought it was pretty exciting.
Thank you.
You're so full of shit.
Thank you.
No, I thought some of the techniques was pretty incredible.
Some of
how,
those
how nobody's not dead.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes.
There was definitely some high risk.
the
stuff
dragon
happening.
suplex off the top rope was insane.
Yeah, I like I said, I wouldn't.
I
Have
wouldn't
done
take that
by
bump.
myself. I
I
would
would-
have just flipped on my own.
I wouldn't have taken that bump. I would have been like, and in fact, I'm very surprised that they allowed their, because make no mistake about it, Okada, the Japanese guy with the blonde hair, he is their future. He is the right now. He is what they want. The interesting storyline to me was
Best Mexican guy versus best Japanese guy.
pro wrestler.
Pro wrestler.
God, I'd say right now the best Mexican pro wrestler right now, the best luchador, probably my favorite. I would say right now is probably Pentagon Jr.
Does he beat Tommy Omega?
Kenny Omega?
Yes.
No, I think Kenny Omega is probably the best. He's definitely
In the
got
world.
the most buzzed right now.
In the world.
Did he lose his leg after that match?
Yeah, because he got drop kicked in the leg. He got thrown. He was laying on his belly, and a dude picked him up.
Well,
and
it's
smashed his
interesting
leg.
because his contract expires with New Japan on the 30th of January.
Does he get to keep the leg?
Yeah. There's a lot of speculation he might show up in WWE. Now, my first reaction is WWE will never let him have a match like that. He'll never have a match like that in WWE. It'll be all sports entertainment
it's too
bullshit.
long?
No, just those kind of risks, those kind of hard-hitting moves. It's just a different style.
But then the Hardy Boys used to do that shit?
Nothing like that, no. The
I
Hardy
didn't see anything that was super crazy that the Hardy Boys wouldn't have done.
No. The Hardy Boys, number one, Matt Hardy's one of the most buzzed about wrestlers right now as it is right now. He's completely reinvented
Which
himself.
brother is that one?
The dark-haired one.
Really?
Yeah, he's awesome as Broken Matt Hardy.
Is he the smaller one? The
Broken
shorter
Matt
one?
Hardy?
Okay, so I'm going to...
I did see a picture of the...
with the crazy hair.
No, I saw a picture of the Raven. He's not looking so good these
No,
days.
he looks like shit.
Yeah.
The interesting,
looks like shit.
The interesting thing about Matt Hardy is this: is that when you think of the Hardy Boys,
How old is that dude?
He's got to be in his late 40s. When you think,
Matt Hardy, late 40s?
yeah, mid
No.
late 40s, mid late 40s.
At this point, yeah.
No. He's... No.
Well, look
I
it up,
think he's
producer.
probably 37.
No, he's in his 40s.
I'm good with ages. Like you? I'm just taking a guess. 73?
Your hairline says 55, pal.
Doesn't hurt me.
You can't drive 55. The interesting thing about Matt Hardy is when you think of the Hardy Boys, you think of high spots, you think of crazy,
Right.
crazy death-defying kind of bullshit. Like,
I think of a guy who's like late 30s at the best.
Anyways, sometime last year, Matt Hardy started doing this character where it's everything he's doing.
Broken Matt Hardy.
It's very Andy Kaufman-esque. He does everything in character. It's this.
He never leaves character.
He never leaves character. He did an interview with Sports Illustrated in character. He's got this weird accent.
He's 42.
Okay,
Is he really? Wow. How old is his brother?
He's his younger brother, so he's probably like 39, 40.
41.
He does this weird, implaceable kind of accent.
Let me hear it.
I can't. You'd have
Come
to
on,
look it up.
Your wrestling accents
Anyway.
are on fucking point.
He talks about.
Are you telling me that you cannot do a Matt Hardy?
Jeff is 39.
You
Called
can't
it.
do a Matt Hardy.
I don't want to. And he did this match last year.
Show's over.
He did this match. He did this match last year called Total Nonstop Deletion, and it was him versus his brother, and they
Is that in the
present
backyard. The one that was
in the backyard.
I saw it.
And it presented wrestling in a completely different way. Now, whether you liked it or you didn't, they did something that's very hard to do. One, they got eyeballs on TNA product, and number two, they did something different. And for that, I applaud them. And it's a very interesting time right now to be a pro wrestling fan because of the internet, you have the ability to see live content from a lot of these smaller promotions that you wouldn't get a chance to see before. The UK wrestling scene is blowing up right now. They're very close to having a live network TV deal with ITV, which would be huge for over there.
I'm gonna start watching a little bit more.
But I mean,
I did enjoy watching the match that we were talking about with Tito Omega and Charlie Yamasaki.
the interesting thing about pro wrestling, it's very similar in the sense of jiu-jitsu in that there's different flavors. And
What's
that
your flavor?
right now I'm on a
Let's say you're a pro wrestler. Bullet. Kevin Honeycutt. Right now, injured leg.
Gold dust.
Bullet dust.
I could do bullet dust.
You could be the bully mammoth.
I am the bully mammoth because fucking Rosie O'Donnell fucking called me bully mammoth.
What character? What style do you have right now?
It would be a cross between like a strong style, but it would be.
Or are you more manager right now?
Well, right now, no. You know what? You put me in the ring, I bet you I could do some strong style. I could do some shoot stuff. Work a little stiff, a little tight, brother. You know?
Right.
When I was a pro wrestler,
What was your name when you were pro wrestling?
I'm not going to talk
Just
about that.
fucking say it.
Nope, won't talk about it.
Why?
Because it's nobody's. No, don't worry
So
about
you
it.
ashamed of it?
No.
You're ashamed of it.
Yeah, I guess I am then.
You weren't that good?
No. But I was in the ring with AJ Styles once, so that was kind of cool.
What was your name?
I'm not going to tell you.
Why?
Because you don't need to know.
Oh, we're friends.
Not that close. And
Really?
you shut up.
I know everything about you.
There's-
You're not going to tell me your fucking ring name.
No. And
Can I guess?
no, you're not going to guess.
Dick Licker.
No, that's my name on kink.com.
What was your name?
Anyway,
what was your character? You don't have to tell me the name.
it was.
Were you wearing a singlet with the one that goes across?
No, I wasn't wearing the Big Show singlet.
Just the shorts?
No, the look changed a little bit. I was a little bit more slender in my.
Were you bullet beefcake?
Anyway, there's a lot of pro wrestling out there that I would recommend that you watch. On top of WWE, WWE is kind of like Metallica to music because everybody listens to Metallica. It's either the least heavy band that you listen to or the heaviest band that you listen to. But
Do you like
everybody,
Metallica?
I love their new album.
I
Love
haven't
it.
yet to listen to it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And the thing is, it's so subjective, just like any kind of art. It's
Is there anyone watching right now?
It's subjective. They'll watch it after the fact.
Dominic?
Just still don't.
They always watch it after.
We're still not at the time where we would have gone on.
That's fine. They can watch it after the fact. The thing about any type of art is it's subjective. As I've gotten older, I've realized that just because I don't like it doesn't mean it sucks. It's
So
just
you've learned what to give a fuck about
to a degree.
and what not to give a fuck
I
about.
would recommend that you, being a fan of jiu-jitsu and whatnot, would really appreciate some of the New Japan stuff because the way that they train, a lot of the holds are shoot holds and whatnot.
Did you see Josh Barnett was back in the ring?
In TNA. He debuted in TNA.
Did he win a title, right?
No,
I thought he beat Bobby Lashley.
I don't know if Lashley has the belt right now. They do a lot of pre-tapes, TNA.
Look,
But-
there's no move on his part to do any investigation whatsoever.
Josh Barnett is the first active UFC
he
fighter
still
to,
doesn't even know we're talking
to compete in a
Did you
pro
catch
wrestling
that?
match. I did.
What just happened?
He's checking his sports
like
scores
that.
or something.
We were talking about Josh Barnett fighting Bobby Lashley, right? And I said, did Barnett win a title? And he said, I don't know, I'm not sure. And we both looked at you, and you were like this.
Wow.
Not even close.
Wow.
And now he's looking it up, so it doesn't even matter at this point.
This is kind of fight news, but,
Toothy.
but I do have a bone to pick with you.
What's his Bobo Fett?
Bobo Fett. Yeah. Bobo Fett.
I have a bone to pick with you as well.
So
Here's the bone.
last year, Jesus Christ.
Last week.
Here's the bone.
Here's the bone that needs to be picked.
Last week,
Last week.
you were supposed to inform me.
No, we never agreed to it
Yes,
last week. We
did.
agreed to it the week before.
We can roll the tape back.
Roll it back.
If we agreed to it the week before, why would anything change?
Because you had made an agreement on your own that you were going to be there at a certain time.
I did not. I
You
said
did.
And
Roll the tape
just
back.
like the last time. And if she didn't show, let me know if she's going to be there.
Don't raise your voice with me,
Okay.
mister.
Basically,
You don't raise your voice with
for
me.
obvious reasons, because she's part of your pajama gang. You don't want to fucking, you don't
Listen,
want to ruffle some feathers of your
2
pajama
weeks ago,
gang.
you won the Intergender World Openweight
and I
Championship.
still have it.
Last week, you were supposed to defend it.
Still have it.
When
First of
Triple
all,
H,
First of all,
hold on.
First of all, the challenger doesn't dictate
When
the time.
Triple H makes an agreement to show up for a championship, Vince McMahon does not call him to say, hey, make sure you're at the arena at this particular time.
You're not Vince McMahon.
Am I wrong?
You're not Vince McMahon.
You're not Triple H either.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. So my whole point
So my job in calling you
is that you never called me to
it's not
tell
my
me that
job.
she was going to be there.
It's not my job.
And then after the fact, I was like, I'm on my way. And you're like, oh, she already
You
left.
never said you were on your way.
I'll show you the text message.
Show it to me.
I can't
Show it to
because
me.
we needed your phone to play the wrong music.
You didn't. There's no point where you texted me. You never texted me and said, "Hey, I'm on my way."
So because she's part of your pajama gang,
Because we were there for like 2 hours.
because she's one of your
You had
pajanimals,
plenty of time.
pajanimals, all right, because she's one of your pajanimals,
Will you work towards winning your title back?
first of all, I didn't lose it.
You lost your title.
No, I
I
didn't.
believe I saw a picture with.
There was a picture
with
with
the
somebody's hand raised.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe she was fucking hanging some clothes like she should have been, but she certainly wasn't hoisting a belt in that fucking picture. So,
If you're going to talk to me like this, you need to use your fucking wrestling voice.
first of all,
Are you going to use your wrestling voice or not? Oh, he's doing something.
I didn't want to add even any effects because that's corny.
Don't talk to me in your normal voice right now. Fuck, I'll reach across and smack you.
You see, there comes a time.
Thank you.
There comes a time when a man must look into himself and see what he is made of. Great men,
Did you look into yourself?
great men have had to look into themselves before, and they've had to pull out greatness. Okay, Winston Churchill, baby, he was having his country attacked by the Germans. They were blitzkrieging him
just go World
daily
War II on us.
and nightly. And then he has to say to himself, he has to look to the nation and say, we will never surrender. So in the face of insurmountable odds, Daddy, I'm going to look you in the eyes, you Polish turkey, and I'm going to tell you this. There is no honor among thieves in the night. You and your friend, your cohorts, there's no honor among thieves in the first place. You can try to steal that title, but baby, the people know who the champion is.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything you want.
Where's this dude all the time? What if you just were this guy all the time? Like you would have such a different life.
Maybe I would.
Could he go buy stuff?
Could you do this as a whole day?
Could you shop?
I
with
could
that
do.
voice?
I could do this right now. I could do it from fucking. I could do it 7 days a week, twice on Sunday.
What
Daddy.
if when the show is over, you left here and you and Todd went to the supermarket?
I've
It's
got
open
the
24
fucking,
hours a day.
I've got the fucking boots right there.
What are you talking like that for?
Yeah, who's that?
I've
Who's
got-
that guy? Who's that guy?
I've got the boots, Daddy, right here. I've got.
What if right after the show you and Todd go to the supermarket?
Which camera did we get them on?
He's going to take a camera and he's going to videotape you speaking to individual people asking which aisles to go to.
right here, Daddy, right there.
Excuse me. Could you please tell me where the eggs are?
So what I want to say to you right now is, Polish Carolina, let me tell you something.
He just locked up for a second.
No, I didn't.
You went with a let me tell you something again.
Let me tell you something, Carolina. In my country, there's only a north and a south. We ain't got room for a third. So let me tell you something, you Polish turkey. You can call yourself a champion all you want, but we all know this. This is a man's world. We now live in 2017. Women don't win arguments anymore. You can ask Hillary Clinton.
Can you beat her in anything else besides?
What I would like to do right now is I would like to, in addition to my world intergender open weight combat sports championship, that you will never be recognized by the championship committee of intergender combat sports.
Wrestling or grappling?
I am now willing to put up to you my intergender world chess championship, but for you, I'm sure I'll have to dumb it down for checkers, baby.
What else could you beat her in?
I could beat her in anything. You ask. Throw it out there.
A
Cooking.
race?
Foot race.
I believe it would be close, but I would beat her
Chin-ups.
easily if we start from our feet. Now, let me tell you something.
I think you should call her out.
The next time we talk, I don't want to hear Chewbacca growling at me in the background neither. So you can just do one-on-one. I invite you to our studio if you've got the balls.
Oh, shit.
I said it.
We're going to call her out. She's coming to the studio.
I'm looking at you right now. When you're watching this, you're probably in your pajamas with all the guys, and you're probably saying, who is this loudmouth man? He doesn't look like much. Let me tell you something. I forgot more jiu-jitsu than you'll ever learn. Okay? I've learned the secrets of the masters. I want you to reach out. I want you to have your hand touch the screen. I want your hand to touch my hand.
Are you going to heal her?
And I want you to
I feel like he's going to heal her.
I want you to feel the power where it lies right here. And what's going to happen is you can't crush this power because you got to understand one thing, baby. I'm an American. And you're Polish.
USA. USA.
Hold on.
USA. USA.
And if it wasn't for my granddaddy, you would be speaking German right now. But it's cool because I like you and your nice cheekbones. But you tell Chewbacca that she can't jump in. She can't jump in. And I don't care. She can come find me. I'm easy to find. You just look up the sexiest man alive in the phone book, and you'll find my name and my number.
It's under S.
It's under
in the
S
phone book.
for sexy. I challenge you to a chess match. I will beat you. I am already the intergender world championship of combat sports. Yeah, I never lost that title. If you've got the balls, I dare you to show up to this studio live. No more phones.
Challenge him in anything.
No arm wrestling. Thumb wrestling. Video game wrestling. Oil wrestling.
That would be a good one.
I don't know if Chewbacca would like that, but it's okay.
Probably not.
Jiu-jitsu. Pro wrestling. I'll suplex the shit out of you. I know you wouldn't suplex me.
That's a lot of beef to throw.
It is. What else could we challenge in? Cooking.
Cooking?
Eating.
Eating?
I definitely would win that one.
I would do an eating competition on here.
What would we eat?
I don't know. Drinking?
I would win that.
I eat smoker and drinking, probably.
Really? She's a little girl,
She's
dude.
like 120 pounds. Probably not even that.
Can't give a fucking break.
112 pounds.
You really think that a 120-pound girl is going to beat me in jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
She already beat you once.
What the fuck did
I've seen the pictures. I've seen the pictures.
There was a picture.
There was a picture of you raising her hand, probably so she could grab a hanger full of clothes. She's probably reaching up to a cupboard to get a fucking frying pan.
In fight news that you might want to talk to us about.
I would like to talk about what do you
Yes.
think? BJ Penn.
Oh shit!
BJ Penn fucking shit the bed.
That was not.
He should have never come out of retirement.
At least not with that guy.
Dude, Rodriguez just put a beating on him.
BJ Penn should have never. And I'll make a bold statement. BJ
Make a
Penn
bold statement.
is the most overrated fighter of all time.
I don't know. If you look at just his losses, nothing but the top guys.
He's barely a 500 fighter.
Yeah, but Randy Couture was the same way.
He's overrated too.
Couture fought a lot of top name guys.
He's overrated.
Couture fought a lot of
Now,
top name guys.
do you think
Overrated.
do you think there's a spot for BJ Penn in fighting?
Because we've talked about like
Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
I
do you
love
know what it's
watching
called? It's
those
called the
fights.
Eddie Bravo Invitational.
No,
I would love to see him
I
in
would
that.
like to see him fight other people.
He cannot.
His age and
He cannot take the
X-stars.
physical abuse.
I would love to see him switch to just straight grappling.
Yeah, he's done.
Who else was on the card? There were some other good fights.
Court McGee versus Ben Saunders.
That was a good fight.
That was a good back and forth. Most interesting was Joe Lazon.
J-Lo.
J-
you know what? There's so many reasons I like J-Lo.
J. Lau got the decision,
He is not afraid to speak his mind if he won or lose.
but J. Lau felt
or
that
lost.
he did not even deserve that win. And
He
that's-
was right.
It's very rare that you're going to see that. It's
That's because
against
he's a real person.
who was the kid he was fighting from Sweden? Why don't you check on your phone? You know, the one that you had to have.
You got me on
Marcin Held.
Marcin Held.
Marcin Held is like a jiu-jitsu ace. And unfortunately, he's 0-2 in the company right now. Hopefully, the officials in the UFC
Is
will
he
see-
0-2?
He's 0-2 now with that.
That's fucked up.
Bellator has a card coming up. This is going to be Tito Ortiz's last fight against Chael
Fuck
P.
Tito.
Sonnen. Yeah, but you're going to watch it. One thing
You're
that
right, I probably will watch it.
one thing that Bellator does really well that I feel me as a fan of pro wrestling, I like it. I don't necessarily think one's better than the other. They really do those really nice entrances with the ramps and the graphics and all the stuff.
I fucking love it.
I'm a big fan of that stuff, man. It brings me back to Pride, and that was really freaky.
I love it.
I'm a big fan of that, but
I like them being above the audience.
yeah.
I do enjoy that.
I understand what they're going for. I mean, there is
like
something.
Even Pride, they had the ramp down to the ring.
There is something to be said though about having like the camera right on a person's face and you see like the look on their faces or walking out. That's cool too. However, the pageantry and all the big screens and all that does lend a certain thing to it.
Quoi?
It's kind of like the icing on the cake for me.
Yeah,
I do like that kind of stuff.
I love that stuff.
I do. So Bellator 170 is going to be coming within the next several days.
Is that this weekend?
I believe it's the 24th. Todd,
is that a Wednesday?
I don't.
Because Saturday's the 21st.
Just type in Bellator 170 date.
Saturday's the 21st. The 24th would be like Tuesday.
Then maybe it's the 27th.
Maybe.
Let's see when the date is.
He's not very prepared.
January 21st.
January 21st, Saturday.
Okay, so it's this Saturday.
It's not a pay-per-view, though.
No, it's on Spike. They don't do
they've
or
only
not
done
Spike.
like 2
it's on
so far. Spike.
Is it on Spike? Yeah, it is
On
on Spike. Yeah, Spike actually owns that. So
I think I might watch that.
yeah,
So that'll be good.
I like Bellator cards. I'm a big fan of Bellator.
They're getting better.
I just like that there's an alternative.
You
There's
know what
something
I'm a
out
fan
there.
of? Extreme Cage Combat.
I am a big fan of XCC because
they have great announcers.
They are
There's
the.
this one guy named Bullet. He's fucking awesome.
I hear he's a big sexy beast.
He's a BSB.
He's a big sexy beast.
Big sexy beast.
He's the bully mammoth.
The bully mammoth.
He's going to put Polish broads in their place. one of these big old soup bones.
But
I just don't see how a 120-pound chick's going to beat me in anything.
no, but that's
Except
what makes
maybe
it interesting.
Except maybe fitting in some
Who
small
did
spots.
Arthur Ashe play in tennis? Martina Navratilova?
Yeah.
No, not Arthur Ashe.
Yeah, Arthur Ashe played a woman.
Yeah, it was.
No, I thought it was the comedian that played. It was Battle of the.
No.
It was it was a comedian. It wasn't Arthur
No.
Ashe.
It was Arthur Ashe.
Arthur Ashe would kill Navratilova. It was a
He
comedian.
lost.
No, it was a comedian that fought her.
Look
Yeah,
it
that
up.
Later.
This guy's supposed to be our facts guy?
Are you comparing me to a comedian?
I'm not.
No. Did I make you laugh? Huh?
I sometimes make women laugh when my ding ding
Look,
comes
he's going to
out.
look it up right now, and he's going to be corrected in a second.
He is.
He's got the worst memory of anybody I've ever met in my life, too.
What was I looking up?
Arthur Ashe versus woman.
Actually, also this weekend, Conor McGregor is going to take part in a pay-per-view interview.
Pay-per-view interview?
With Ariel Helwani. It's
I'm not paying
$5
for that shit.
Why would you pay $5 to hear this guy
It'll be
talk
on video
stupid
like
shit?
2 days later.
And it's just going to be nonsensical quotes. I'm the greatest ever. I'm the best of all time.
Do they think people are going to pay? Go ahead.
Idiots will.
Good. Arthur Ashe played who?
No, it was Riggs and Billie Jean King.
No, that's not the one we're talking about.
That's not the one you're talking about?
No. Look up Arthur Ashe versus woman.
Well, is Navratilova.
She's kind of womanly. She's very Chris Cyborg-ish.
She liked a couple of my posts on Instagram, and I want to go back on and kind of like some of hers, but I'm off of social media now.
You're still on the social media. Don't kid yourself.
I haven't posted in over a week.
Do you get some sort of chip for that?
No, but I feel like my anxiety's gone down a little bit.
So you're part of the vicious cycle where if you don't post, you don't get the likes that you like, and then you're miserable.
No, it's just that I just don't really have anything to share with people right now.
Really? You're not doing anything interesting.
I'm playing a lot of music.
I haven't really posted much either lately. I just like videos about fucking.
I read a book recently that kind of blew my brain.
She went against Jimmy Connors.
Who did Arthur Ashe?
Arthur Ashe
versus
did not.
Arthur Ashe is the black guy, right? He went against somebody.
He went against
Wow.
tennis
I'm
player.
feeling pretty good right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. The
That-
black guy.
That first shot. No. Yeah, he is a black guy. He's not a black guy.
Yeah, but you said like the black guy. That's
yeah, I
what
want
you
to make
said.
sure I have the right Arthur Ashe because there's another Arthur Ashe. The white guy.
I don't think so. I think you're really doing a horrible job just
All right,
covering.
so we're going to end the show here.
At least you didn't do the white guy perimeter check. You ever? People do that in their own house.
I do that when I speak about my wife.
You ever see that?
Back and forth.
You go, look. Nothing against the last guy, but he was a black guy. And I'm like,
So-
sir, you're in your house. Why are you looking?
XCC 27, right? It's coming up in a few weeks. We're going to have fighters on in the next week or two.
Helen's looking real good too.
Helen's always looking good,
She is.
right? So we're going to have a couple fighters on, right? Yes?
If you say so, bro.
I do say so.
I'm actually in charge here.
I would love for people to send us some objects that we try to figure out what the fuck they are.
Who would you say is like the
First lady of MMA?
no? Who would you say is like okay? Like there's got to be a president and a vice president.
Like if this was a corporation.
Yes,
I am the president.
I would definitely say I'm the president.
No.
I would definitely say I
No,
am.
I don't think so.
I would definitely say that.
Not at all.
It's so
Not
fu-
even remotely
It's
close.
adorable that you're that delusional.
It's adorable that you're delusional.
Tell me how you're the president.
I just want to pinch your big cheeks when you say that.
Do it. Tell me how you feel that you're
Tell
the
me how
president.
you feel you're president.
Okay. Well, should we do it?
You know what?
Go ahead.
He does sit down and you do all the work. You are walking around here putting the
I'm
chords
walking.
together.
I'm talking.
My man's here, just
Hold-
sitting down, relaxed,
Hold on.
waiting for you to get
Talk
over
to
it.
me.
I feel that you really don't have anything to stand on. I'm the president. Just call me the president.
You're not
We'll
the
just have
president.
this- We'll talk about this offline. That's a corporate thing.
It's a corporate thing.
It's a corporate thing. You ever hear what corporate people say that shit? We'll talk about this
Why is the
offline.
volume down on the...
Are you going to play the right music?
I'm playing the right music
Is
right
this
now.
the sweat from my balls song that you're so...
Yes. Let's just finish out with this.
I
I
real-
just want you to hear it. Just let it play. Dance. I want you to dance.
No.
A little more volume. A little more volume. Well, John.
The camera's just on him anyway, right now.
Let me see you dance. Do you dance?
No.
You've never danced. That's your issue. We got to get him to dance. Let your spirit out.
No. I'm turning this off. Goodbye. All right, I'll go with this.
And we're out.
And we're back.
And we're gone.
This is a song you do when you're coming in.
I love this song.
I know.